A lot of people asked about my overhead rig, so here's everything I'm using from the camera to the pole that it's mounted to. Let's start with this Impact Super Clamp. Just make sure you get the one with the ratcheting handle. I'm also using this Impact double ball joint head with a camera platform, which allows you to articulate this thing in almost any direction. I like to add this newer GM34 quick release adapter to it, and I'll show you why in a second. To attach the double ball joint head to the super clamp, just make sure that you line up this flat part right here with the outside of the clamp so that when you slide it in and tighten down the screw to hold it in, it won't accidentally rotate inside of the clamp. The camera that I use is a Sony FX30 with 2 quick release plates actually. My go-to overhead lens is this Sony 16 to 55mm 2.8G, and this is basically the crop sensor version of a 24 to 70. The mic is a Sony Electronics ECM B1M that mounts to the MI shoe of the camera, so there's no cables. I also use this hot shoe bubble level thing before I add my mic, and this just helps me make sure that my camera is pointing straight down, which is important if you don't want any skewed lines in your shots. I also like to run a V-mount battery up there with my camera, and this one has 3 different USB ports, and I use this small rig V-mount attachment with a little clamp on the back to hold my battery onto that pole next to the camera. I attach the battery with a shorter USB-C cable so that it's not hanging down or in my way. And I don't like how it blocks the screen, so I also attach this 90-degree USB-C adapter. And you can honestly just buy a cable with a 90-degree bend, but I own like 1,000 USB-C cables and I just didn't want to buy one more. But yeah, that just basically helps keep the cable out of the way of my screen. The quick release is clutch because I can quickly detach and flip my camera to vertical, or I can just quickly remove it and throw this onto a tripod for a different angle. All of this clamps onto a pole that is literally bolted to my wall and ceiling. They are 3/4 inch black galvanized steel poles that come in different lengths from 1 to 10 feet long. Do not get the ones that have threaded ends. I bought 10-foot poles and a pipe cutter like this to cut them to the exact length that I needed in my kitchen and my office. To attach them to the walls, I use these 3/4 inch flanges and concrete anchors because I have cinder block walls. Do not use these on drywall unless you're attaching them to a stud. I also use this T-shaped fitting to attach 2 poles to the ceiling in my kitchen, and this just made it more solid because it would wobble when I had one long pole that was stretched across the entire kitchen.